Good afternoon, folks. It's time to wrap it up for August the 29th simultaneously. We came in this morning wanting to buy the 94.96 area and the E-mini. And the second area was the, we wanted to buy the 96.98 area, and the second buy area was 92.94. So we got into our number 2 area, and it was the first place that we got our setup. As you can see, coming all the way down here, we are getting lower highs, which is producing lower lows, and right here is the first place that we get our retest failure. So you could have been long at 94.25 to 95. And our sell recommends sell failure to take out 350. Well, this was our sell zone, and we never quite got to it. Haven't gotten to it yet, and you can see it produced really a great trade. We had a retest failure here. We wanted to buy into weakness off the opening. Our whole premise week for trading is that started on Monday that the E-mini is going to close over 2,000 this afternoon. And while that remains to be seen, close above 97.50 will give us a new closing high for the E-mini. So we had a good day trading the E-mini. We got our setups, we got the trades, we got the feedback we needed to be long. Right down here in pane 3 that was started to go by as the low was coming in. So it was a good day of trading for us. So what do we see for next Tuesday? We got a 3-day weekend, and that usually the markets kind of reset and they start over. We've had strong buying. We took out 1,900. Several people said the blow off top would be 2,200. So, I mean, nobody knows for sure, but what we can see right here in F1 is that the money is still flowing to the buy side. Now, what makes September an important month for the market and all money managers is that it's the third quarter. So there won't be a lot of incentive to be heavily short or banging on the market come the end of September. So just structurally, we'll still see a reluctant seller, and I think the market is awaiting a new piece of news before it can break. And it could be a surprise piece of news out of left field. J.P. Morgan warned its clients that war between the Ukraine and Russia could be the Lehman Brothers event that changes the entire outlook for the securities of the stock market. We don't know. But one day, because the market has been trading up and holding those gains for, what, 5 years now, one day there will be a piece of news that comes along and changes this. The bull market is getting tired. So what do we have for next Tuesday's day? We've got a higher low and a higher high, and that favors a retest of today's high and or higher prices come Tuesday. Like I said, we'll have to take a hard look at that when we come in Tuesday morning because of the holiday and the chance for a lot of news over the weekend. Does the F2 screen profile chart confirm and support the view of the F1 screen? This is where the exchange members play. So we like to execute with the F1 screen, the long-term money, and we like to enter the market with exchange members. So we have a P right here, and it is pointing higher. My guess all week long was that we were going to close this thing above 2,000. We'll see if that's actually true. So right now, I think the easiest trade to see is to sell failure to take out 2003, 2000 even. And if we close it above 2,000, it'll be sell failure to take out 2003. On the buy side, we have the last rotate down 97. 95. So based on structure right now in the Globex market, and it is a long weekend, buy one will be 95 to 97, and buy two will be our 90 to 92. So stock market, based on everything that we look at, except for volume and volatility, is still pointed higher. Volume has fallen off quite a bit this week. Part of it could be it's the last week of August. And you have to understand, too, that the E-mini short term moves in the direction that hurts the most people. It is a bit perverse, but that's the way that it is, and that's the other markets are not like that. And a lot of people scratch their head and wonder. I get questions regularly about how can the market be up on this bad news, or can it be down on good news? And with E-mini, you just, it's going to do what it's going to do, like it or not. We wanted to be long at 23s. We wanted to sell 27s or better. Last hour trading, we said you might be able to get off a short at a higher price, but we still wanted to sell the 28 to 31 area. The high happened to be 29. The low is 21.5, so we caught both sides of the market as envisioned when we started off at 6:45 this morning. It's an inside day. That means trading range. Market doesn't know what it wants to do. Will this be confirmed on our F2 screen? Now, for those of you that are new to the rumors, we look every market in exactly the same way. On screen, we go to the F2 screen, and then we take it to the 15-minute and 3-minute. And if all four of those time frames are lined up, it's a strong trade. If every other one of them is pointing in a different direction, it's not such a strong trade. So here we are on our F2 screen, definitely dealing with a P. We're going to start off with 28 to the buck as resistance, so that's going to be sell failure to take out 28 to the buck. What could support this market? Increased fighting between the Ukraine and Russia. Increased tensions between China and Japan, Taiwan, the Philippines, South Vietnam, or India. China's taken everybody on, verbally anyway. Just testing the waters. And new fighting in the Middle East. Supposedly ISIS is, in addition to executing 250-plus Iraqi soldiers yesterday or the day before, they filmed this. They're pretty good with the camera. Supposedly they cut off the head of a Kurdish fighter today because the Kurds are siding with America. There's also a report out over the weekend that ISIS is active and operating in Ciudad Juarez, which is across the river from El Paso. And all of our domestic and federal law enforcement agencies have been put on alert for a terrorist attack from ISIS along our borders someplace. Don't know if that'll happen, but again, this market is subject to headlines, and headlines like that will take it higher, not lower. So, I mean, there's a lot of unease out there these days. Yesterday, Obama, the administration threw in the towel, saying there's not a solution for ISIS. Today, they're backtracking that. Words have meaning. Words have power. Yesterday, the Obama administration told Putin they wouldn't do anything, that they were going to shame Russia into stopping this bad behavior. Good luck on that. So this leadership role, or how far is too far? I mean, we don't know what the answer is yet. And what happens if you're bipolar or passive aggressive? And all of a sudden you can explode. So again, long treasuries, long gold, in case something bad happens, is probably a more comfortable position than being short. We do live in interesting times. We can ourselves from a lot of things. And okay, the knob spread came in on the close. Now the pattern for treasuries is up, sideways to higher during auction week, and post-auction week is lower as they set up the next auction. Like I said, I don't know what news we could get. That would, make the treasuries crash, but maybe nothing out of the Ukraine, nothing out of Iraq, Syria. No attack this weekend on the United States in El Paso or points around there. So we are pointed lower. We had a weak close right here. We held at 30, so our 01 to 29 is going to be our first buy. And then 21 to 25 will be our second buy. On the sell side, last rotate up stopped at 9, so sell failure to take out 8 to 12. And that'll do it for the bond. Okay. Yes, Tom. I mean, if war breaks out, you want to be long crude, you want to be long gold, you want to be long treasuries and short indexes. It's a lousy investment strategy to make money long term, but if you want to sleep at night, you're long gold, you're long treasuries, you're long crude oil, is the old saying. And it just makes sense, and you at least hedged or protected your stock portfolios. Big article in the Wall Street Journal today that it's time for Saudi Arabia to step up and start to defend its homeland by taking the lead in fighting ISIS. Qatar was attacked last week in the press for being an ISIS sponsor in funding their operations, which they promptly denied. Plausible deniability is what anybody wants when they're supporting guerrilla activity. And Qatar certainly. Yeah. But I don't think they need help. They stole from Mosul. There's supposedly $2 million a day coming in from sale of crude oil. They kidnap people for ransom regularly. I mean, it's a well-run criminal organization. Best case and worst case, they're using criminal tactics to finance their terrorist operations, worst case. And it's spreading. So, again, on gold, I do not like going home short gold in the close of business of the day session. Now, if London opens up and resistance holds, I don't have any problem getting short in gold. But I think you have a lot of exposure going home short gold, short crude oil, short treasuries for events that can happen overnight. So we have a B pattern, basically a sideways market. Looks like there's a seller of 92 to 95, so sell failure to take out 92.95, I think is the first trade. And the last rotate up was 98, so we're going to sell number 2 will be against 1300. On the buy side, 85 worked out pretty good for us today. So 85 plus or minus will be buy 1. And then 80 will be buy 2. And again, I have no trouble getting short London time on gold. I just don't want to be short gold on our close. That's protected us many times this year. Because who knows what kind of news we're going to get over the weekend. Okay, the euro, I talked myself blue in the face about wanting to be short the euro. But let's just take a look at the F1. I don't think it is, Nancy, with an official holiday, but they have their own. I know several of the exchanges were closed today around the globe and have been closed this week, but I don't know for sure. I know this, that Europe won't be back from vacation until next Tuesday, and it takes them a week to get everything recalculated and refigured. Okay, this is pretty strong selling. We've talked about all week headed for 131. We're pretty close. I wouldn't be surprised to open up on Monday with us at 31. Who's selling in London? I mean, the mess for the euro, I mean, it just gets bad. Italy, deflation. Missing in retail sales numbers this week in Germany. France had to reform its government because its economic policies weren't growing. 30% of their energy is controlled by Russia. They're not going to do anything. I mean, it's just a mess. And so, I mean, why would you want to be long the euro? The only thing that I see that could rally the euro would be Draghi to come in and raise rates. Then on a differential basis, it would be better than the dollar and the pound, and for momentarily at least it would rally. So I like the idea of selling. We're at 39, so lower high, lower low. This market is headed lower, in my opinion. Looking at the 2. Came in today once again, sellers. Wanted to sell 132 plus or minus. Got a retest of the high at 95. It's a great trade. And the market just keeps extending the range down. So when we look at this screen right here, this 50 to 60 area is prime sell territory. So leaning against 50, leaning against 60 is where we are, and then 75 to 85. Put us right back into where all this volume is, would be our sell number 2. Now, what would it take to rally the euro? Peace treaty between the Ukraine and Russia. Peace breaks out. That would be one thing that could give it a momentary rally. This buy one is very, very aggressive. I think we are headed lower than 131 plus or minus. I don't mind getting long against 131 even, just because somebody will cover their shorts down there. But peace between the Ukraine and Russia would be the only thing I could see that could rally us back. And then I think we could get a 50 to 75 tick rally off of that news. I'd want to sell it again. So we've been talking about 131 was our trading target this week. We might wake up next week and see that manifest itself. Okay, crude got strong. Didn't see a specific piece of news to it other than by ISIS and that terror alert for our border and the terror alert in London. So media, they know how to make propaganda. They've got the Western mainstream media afraid of being called, I don't even know what they call it, an Islamophobe, whatever that is. I guess that's a man who happens to practice the religion of Islam. But, I mean, it's a mess. Cameron came out and spoke strongly about they had to do something in London, and his solution was outreach and the Muslims that are not terrorists, and there's a hell of a lot of those. I mean, Muslims don't like what's going on either. And they're also the target of most of this terror. I mean, if you think we've suffered losses in the West, think of all the Muslims that have been killed by these terrorists, these Muslim terrorists. So nobody really likes them. But if you raise your hand and jump up and squawk and squeal, there's a good chance they'll come kill you. And they got plenty of people willing to do that. So it's just, I mean, the idea of a passive population bringing ISIS under control is pretty pretty remote. So there's a lot of things that could take us higher. All it takes is the rumor of war or the talk of war to rally crude oil. And I think that's what we're looking at right now. So we got this low volume area. The spill up here started out of the 97 area. We just blew through 96.20 to 96.60. We're at 95.89. So the bottom edge of this low volume area is 96.20. So selling failure to take out 96.25. We awaken in London, and there's peace over the weekend. There's not any more shooting than there has been. Then we can get short crude, and that's most likely what will happen. I don't really see. We had the breakout right here from 50, so the first buy would be 25 to 50, and basically 95 plus or minus. But again, it's really, really difficult to control the news. It's very, very difficult when people start shooting at each other to know what's coming next. And, you know, these guys can wear you out like they've done in the past. They increase their chatter. Everybody goes on alert in London or wherever it happens to be, or the United States, and nothing happens. And then, so they cry wolf once. And then things die down. Next weekend, the chatter picks up again, and Al-Qaeda was really, really good at doing this. Then pretty soon you get numb to it, then the attack comes. So it'll be done on their timing and on their terms. It won't be done on ours. So that's it. I'm out of here. It'll take at least 20 minutes to get this up. And you all